as for whether globalism is cancer, I don't know if it's cancer. I think it's probably more like HIV, which is that it's a sort of an acquired immune deficiency virus
Hmm.
that convinces people not to protect themselves against aggressive outsiders.
Yeah, this is where the phrase. So let's talk about name calling a little bit. So cuckold. Explain
Okay.
what is a cuckold?
So the word cuck entered into it was kind of from not really Reddit, but Poll and other kind of far right discussion boards.
Hmm.
And what it means, I mean, so obviously
Hmm.
a cuckold is someone whose wife, he keeps his wife, he gives her money and clothes. It kind of comes from the
Uh-huh.
Shakespearean era
Uh-huh.
where Shakespeare and all those guys thought it was absolutely hilarious because everyone knew some guy like this who's just
Uh-huh.
kind of a pushover,
Yeah, but a cuckold literally and gets aroused seeing his wife, his woman, fucked by other men, right? Is that
technically,
is
technically, it just refers to someone whose wife is getting fucked by other men. Then I guess that there's cuckold porn where
I haven't watched it
people.
myself, but
I think the idea is there are people who like to fantasize about their wife getting fucked by other men.
yeah, so the
So
idea is there's a lot of cucks. A cuck is someone who wants all these foreign men to come into their land and have sex with their women, right?
and in some cases, almost literally, right,
Yeah.
where they'll
Uh-huh.
proudly put themselves
Mm-hmm.
in a part of efforts
Mm-hmm.
like helping teach Syrian migrants how to seduce and have sex with German women, right? So
God.
it's like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
at
a
some fundamental level like that.
yeah.
That's like the most basic biological impulse that you have is to kind of protect your group's women.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this why I said it's an HIV sort of thing
Uh-huh.
is that it's so powerful that it gets you to act against your most fundamental interests, right? Like if there was a
Yeah.
virus that caused you to
Mm-hmm.
do this, it would be the most deadly virus of all time. But
Mm-hmm. Well,
instead,
it will kill your people given enough time, right?
yeah, it will, and that's why. So, and for a very long time, that this globalism isn't necessarily sort of related to being a cuck. They
Mm-hmm.
go hand in hand,
Mm-hmm.
but you can be a globalist without being a cuck, and you can
Mm-hmm.
be a cuck without being a globalist. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, they're related, but
Mm-hmm.
the last 50 years and double our lifetimes,
Mm-hmm.
this trend is going in one direction: more globalism, more apologizing,
More
uh,
cuckoldry.
more cuckoldry,
Less nationalism.
right. And
Right.
if you were looking around at the world in 2012,
Uh-huh.
who you had Mitt Romney
Uh-huh.
against Obama. Obama, very, very talented, pretty mainstream liberal, and
Uh-huh.
Romney running as this classic GOP candidate who's going to
Mm-hmm.
cut taxes for the rich, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of GOP is making an
Mm-hmm.
argument that is almost compatible with the cucks, where it's like we're going to
Uh-huh.
just create more prosperity for everyone, and they
Uh-huh.
avoid talking about that the sort of the us them
Uh-huh.
distinction. Mitt Romney doesn't. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like everyone has like, it's really the Western world has had this white guilt um, that's manifested through political decisions to,
Yeah, and
it's not
it was
right.
even on the right. It was even on the right because
Yeah.
the right's idea
Uh-huh.
was we can configure our economic arguments without ever
Uh-huh.
talking about the fact that we're a group that's against other groups in certain respects. Now we're not
Yeah.
against other groups in all respects, but in certain
Uh-huh.
respects.
Yeah.
So Romney
Uh-huh.
wrote what his classic thing was, America is basically just a market.
Mhm.
It's a territory that
Mhm.
supports an economy, and we need to make that economy as strong as possible.
Mhm.
It's this abstract sort of thinking. Individuals
Mhm.
are automatons or sort of utility
Mhm.
seekers who trade to get money. Anyway, but that was what the right was, not only in America, but in most important respects, it's certainly true of the Tories, David Cameron.
Mhm.
It was true around the Western world. There was
Mhm.
no light in the darkness, really.
Mhm.
And now in 2016, it's all changed.
I
And
know, it's amazing.